I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
We're in Red Media.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chasing Chevy Chase podcast. I would say yet another Chevy Chase podcast, but I think that this is the only one. I am one of your hosts, Chris Dashew from the Culture Cast, and I am joined by my two good friends all the way from Cambridge and Wishawn. He's here. He's our friend, Mark Begley.
Do you have a twin sister?
Christ.
Groan.
Groan. All the groaners in the world.
Some groans in there.
Throw some groans on them boys. And your friend and mine. Go ahead, Mark.
That soundboard, you need a soundboard.
I wish.
For the remainder of this podcast.
And he puts the going gopher, the host of the projection booth, Mike White.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. It's really good to be here. I think I'm going to talk like this through the rest of the show.
Oh,
that was going to be my joke.
Well, you can't take my joke away from me, Mark, no matter how much you try. Yeah.
That's pretty damn good, too.
That is very, very, very good.
And good luck doing that for an hour.
I will. You believe me, I will. I can do it.
Oh, Dan Arcoid really, he likes to commit to the act.
I really go for the bit, and I don't let it go.
No, I mean, have you seen Dragnet? That's the entire movie. Yeah. Dragnet is him committing to the bit. Holy cow, guys. Well, this one I cannot take credit for. We are talking about 1988's sequel to Caddyshack, creatively titled Caddyshack 2. So the film is...
Shack is back, baby!
Shack is back. Caddyshack, baby, Caddyshack. I got me a caddy, and it's as big as a shack. I don't know. The B-52s were really phoning this one in.
I'm about to head back to the shack. The caddy shack.
Nah. They would do a little Chevy Chase and be dancing in the background. Good God. So this movie's directed by Alan Arkish, written by Harold Ramis and PJ Torkvey, based on the characters by Brian Doyle Murray, Harold Ramis, and Doug Kenny. And it stars Jackie Mason, Robert Stack, Diane Cannon, Dina Merrill, Jonathan Silverman. Randy Quaid's in here for a minute, Paul Bartel. And hey, Chevy Chase shows up, supposedly. I think. So I've been told. This is essentially a retread of the first film, but with a female character that we follow. So we essentially follow the female character from the first movie. That's Ted Knight's, niece. But instead of her being his niece, she's his daughter. And instead of him being an asshole, he's Rodney Dangerfield, and that's the movie. It's literally the same movie, down to the competition at the end of the film. Hey, we're gonna play doubles golf. All right, Chevy Chase, I'm out of here. Chevy, you can see his car waiting for him off fucking screen. He wanted to be out of there so quickly. Yeah, this movie's reputation precedes it. I'm gonna kick it to Mike first, then you, Mark. Thoughts on the film? Was it the first time you saw it? If it wasn't, when did you? And if it was, what did you think then and now? And if it was the first time, God help you.
It was my first time seeing it. Yeah. And this has a reputation for being one of the worst sequels ever. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a bad movie. It's a very bad movie, but reading the script was very interesting. And I have to say that had they actually stuck with their original plan and been able to talk Rodney Dangerfield into being in this, it probably would have been way better. Had this been the Rodney Dangerfield versus Ted Knight film, and sadly Ted Knight had passed already by this point, but had that happened, I think it actually would have been somewhat decent. I read the second draft of the script, which actually is credited as Rodney Dangerfield being one of the writers. You can hear the Rodney throughout the entire script. You can hear the Sam Kinison when it comes to the lawyer character, his Al's lawyer. I mean, when I was reading the script, it still is Al, is it Chernak? I think it is from the first film.
Cervix.
Okay, it's him. Cervix. It's him through the entire thing, and it makes a lot of sense. It's kind of a mashup between his character from Back to School, who's not selling clothes for fat and big people. What is it? Fat and tall, I think he calls it, or something like that. But anyway, it's not that. It's him being a real estate developer, building developer. Very much like the Jackie Mason character in here. And really, Jackie Mason is basically just reading lines from Rodney Dangerfield. So it makes it very odd. And yeah, the caddies have nothing to do with this movie whatsoever. I keep forgetting that Jonathan Silverman's even in this movie because it is really just a Jackie Mason vehicle, Jackie Mason versus Robert Stack. So yeah, I didn't find it as awful as I thought it was going to be, but it's still pretty awful. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, first time for me as well. I had no interest in seeing this when it came out. And I think the negative critical and financial stuff snowballed pretty quickly thereafter, so I never rented it when it came out on video or anything like that. I'm not the biggest Jackie Mason fan, so that wasn't a pull. And even the rest of the cast, just they're not draws for me, so I had no intention of ever seeing it. And like you, though, Mike, it wasn't as bad as I figured it would be. I did take this movie in chunks. I took a page from, I can't remember which one of you did that for the last film, but I thought, you know what? I'm not going to sit and watch an hour and 40-minute movie in one fell swoop the day before we record. So I got 3 days out of it.
Pal. I sat and watched Patch Adams in one sitting. You know, it ain't me watching movies.
No, the last Chevy Chase movie.
I think it's I know, but I don't watch movies in chunks. Is my point, even if they are an affront to good graces like this fucking movie.
Some of these I'm gonna have to because I can't. It starts to get to the point where I'm angry and sort of tune out. So I was taking this in 30-minute chunks was a lot easier on my brain. And
don't make me angry. You wouldn't let me when I'm angry.
Yeah,
the first third, I was still on board when I finished the first third, and then after that, I was like, nah. And like you said, Chris, it's just hitting the same beats. You've got the party at the club. You've got the Slavs versus the snobs. You've got the encounter on the golf course early on when Jackie Mason first shows up, and he's got all the gadgets. You know, it's the same, which makes sense if it's still the Rodney Dangerfield character, but now that neither of the characters are the same. And the kids, the teenagers in this movie,
not teenagers, they're all like 25, 30 years old. Jonathan Silver looks like, you're just like, dude, you're still a caddy and you're 30 something years old. Like, his little line about like, what was it? Like, I'm going to go to, busboy school or something, which I think is actually funnier than the actual line that he does use. But yeah, he is so old in this movie. You expect that he's really way out of his element here. And yeah, the daughter of Jackie Mason, I'm just like, how old are you, miss? Like, it doesn't look like you're about to go to college.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the kids of the grown-ups in this are just like voids. Trina Phillips. It's, I don't know. It was, and the look of it was, we talked, I think, pre-recording here about Alan Arkish's career and how he quickly after this ended up in TV and has stuck there. And the look of this made me think of a TV movie. The sets were small and really horribly decorated. I mean, for a fancy club, I get it in the first movie. I mean, I know that they shot at a real country club for most of that, at least. I don't know about the ballroom scene, but that was spacious and big and lots of people in there. And this was just here's a room in a hotel that we rented for the night, and let's get 20 people in here. And it just felt cheap and looked cheap. And Randy Quaid is awful in this.
Oh, well, come on. He's good in one scene.
He's awful.
He's good in one. He's good in one scene, and then he's overused the rest of it. If it had been that one scene, you'd be like, that was fun. But it's so protracted, and it's so like just drug out, because that one scene is really funny, but it's completely just like
which scene?
The one where I'm wondering myself.
The one where he's talking about, the one where it's just him with the other two lawyers in the room and he's like screaming at them.
Okay.
That's but like if we're talking about like the whole movie, like that's the one scene where then like Jackie Mason comes in, he's like, have they met with my lawyer yet? And he's like, oh, okay. Like, okay, it's better than him in hockey gear blocking a fucking golf ball. That's more what I'm getting at. Like that's 2 minutes, guys. More like the rest of the Randy Quaid stuff's like another 10 minutes of the movie. That's more what I'm getting at. Like that singular scene is fine, but Randy Quaid is overused, and then Chevy Chase is in this movie. I promise he's in this movie.
So apparently, Jonathan Silverman was 22, but he does not look 22 to me. This is 1 year after Brighton Beach and 2 years before, or at least 1 year before Weekend at Bernie's. So he is right on the cusp of his stardom with this. And I want to say, so I apologize. I want to just use the character's name. Sorry, I won't. Royette Tyler, the Marsha Warfield character, I think she's combined with the lawyer character and I'm not going to call him Cousin Eddie, with, why am I blanking?
Elijah C. Scuggs?
Yeah, with Peter Blunt. I guess the Blunt is supposed to be funny. With his character, I think it's like those two characters I want to say in the script are basically one. And it's pretty much the Burt Young character from Back to School. It's like he is there with him at all times, doing whatever the Rodney character needs of him. But in this one, they're two characters and neither one are very effectively used. Like I just call her Roz from Night Court. I like her a lot and I like her presence on screen, but there's a real divide between what's going on at the construction site and what's going on with the whole law stuff. And really that's supposed to be like so much of the movie is Jackie Mason's character wanting to build low cost housing for people. And there's a whole subplot that's missing where he goes in front of the city council and that becomes a big fiasco because he starts calling out people for just their complete hypocrisy. And I guess there's the main guy on the city council is homosexual. So there's this whole thing about jokes with that too. Thank God they didn't go there because it's already offensive enough as it is. And yeah, Jackie Mason just
this movie hates Armenian.
I'm not a big fan of Jackie Mason either. And I thought the one thing that he was doing that I liked was when he was doing the voice of the anteater from the aardvark, I should say, which doesn't make any sense that he's an aardvark, only to find out that was John Byner doing a Jackie Mason impersonation when he was doing that voice. So for years, I thought that was Jackie Mason doing that, but that's off to John Byner. Yeah,
totally. Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious as to why he has the same last name as his character, Jackie Mason, that is, as his character in The Jerk.
The Jerk. Yeah.
And so I looked, I'm like, is he part Armenian? He mentions his heritage in the film, the character's heritage, and he's like half Armenian and then a third and a third and a third this on his mom's side. And I thought,
she's a very big woman. Yeah.
We have a very big Armenian population in Fresno, so I'm always kind of curious about that. And a lot of times you can draw a connection. A lot of our big exports were of Armenian descent. William Saroyan, Cher, Sid Haig, Ross Bagdasarian are all local folks. And no, he's Jewish.
Oh, he is like the most Jewish person I've ever encountered in my entire life. I mean,
did the movie feel like they couldn't make a Jewish joke?
Yeah, there's that thing too where it's like lose the accent that Ty Webb tells him. What accent? And I'm like,
the one where you sound like Krusty's dad.
That's right. Exactly. That's like, because that's my other famous role.
Yeah, that's literally when I do the voice. It's the voice that I do. Yes, that's Jackie Mason. I don't know who else's voice it is. Like that is like the most stereotypical Jewish character, and it is Jackie Mason. Like, hey, you want some latkes? Like that is like, it's fucking 100%. And I don't understand why they don't just lean into it in the movie. Like, I don't get it. Not that I think it would fix anything.
No, I mean the idea of keeping Jewish people out of country clubs.
Yeah,
is pretty long standing. Yeah. Let's talk about gentleman's agreement here.
That might have been too
on the nose.
Too on the nose.
Yeah.
Although they do have a slave auction at the country club, so.
Yes.
So I had seen this movie. Unfortunately, I didn't remember much of it. I remembered that Randy Quaid was in it, but this, I think. Y'all might not be as disappointed by this movie as I am, but I think for me, the thing that I keep coming back to is two things. The disparity between the original film and this film, which I think is like a chasm. And then, again, the point of the assignment, as it were, which is, the Chasing Chevy Chase podcast of it all, which is why I keep coming back to Chevy Chase is in this movie, I promise. I detest his role in this movie because it is the most obvious cash grabs. Dude, he was doing the Legacy sequel thing before Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis's Ghost and Ernie Hudson, but he deserves the money. We're showing up at the end of Ghostbusters. Like, he's doing the exact same thing, like the lowest effort, like, cameo possible. And look, like, if I'm Chevy Chase, I'm showing up. I'm sure he's not complaining that it's like, a role that he has to do very little for. And he's literally just doing the Chevy Chase fucking shtick half the time. At one point, he's playing pool and dropping the pool cue. It's like, fuck off, dude. Like, I don't know, like, we're getting to the point with Chevy Chase and what we're expecting from him, which is that we are going to start souring on him at some point soon if we haven't already. And this, in my mind, is indicative of that because he seems like such a shithead in this role in a way that, like, Ty Webb was a shithead in the original, but he was an endearing shithead. In this movie, he's just comes off as like such a prick, and there are no, and again, I think we talked about this recently with other things. It's okay if there's no likable characters in your movie. Like, that's perfectly fine. Shitty characters doing shitty things to one another is perfectly fine. However, there's no comedy in any of this. I mean, barely any comedy. There's maybe one or two laughs throughout the entire film. It is I think, thoroughly unfunny film that wastes the talents of people that are funny in pretty much everything else I've seen them. And Jackie Mason is probably one of the few people I haven't seen them in anything else, but Randy Quaid, Paul Bartel, Robert Stack. I mean, Jesus, Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase for that matter. Like, again, I have no problem with Chevy Chase. I just really detest the way that they had him show up in this movie because they make Ty Webb, one of the more likable characters from the first film, a real asshole. And you're really hoping and glad when he like exits stage left of his own volition every time. Because he's the one kind of hanger on from the last movie, and he doesn't need to be here. And if he wasn't here, I'm not saying that this would feel any less like a Caddyshack sequel, but at least it would have even less credibility than it has by having Chevy Chase be here. I mean, they share names with the first movie like Bushwood and stuff like that, but I think the Chevy Chase of it all also gives this movie a more direct through line to the original one, which is a bad thing overall for this quote franchise unquote, even though there are only two movies.
I thought that he was kind of a jerk in the first movie as well. But it just the whole thing.
Likeable jerk though.
He was a likable jerk, but I mean the way that our main character was kind of that catty. Remember how we were talking about who is the main character of this movie, and it's like
supposed to be.
It's supposed to be this caddy, but maybe it's somebody else. I don't really.
Chevy Chase and Caddyshack.
Yeah.
That's what surprises me about, I guess it doesn't surprise me, but it's funny that it morphed into that in the first film. Oh, well, let's just let these other characters riff. Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, Ted Knight, and Rodney Dangerfield, and, poor, I forget the actor's name.
Right? That's how memorable he is.
I mean, I like
Chris
that guy. He shows up in all kinds of stuff that we watch. But anyway, where, he was the focus of the original script, and that gets pushed aside.
You're talking about Michael O'Keefe?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Michael O'Keefe.
Okay.
And
I was like, Michael
so
O'Keefe.
the sequel sticks, though, with those characters that kind of intruded themselves into the first film. And that seems weird to me. Go back to the caddies. Go back to Jonathan. Add more than one caddy.
Oh, yeah. There's supposed to be a whole subplot in this movie about the caddies being replaced by those golf carts. Instead, there's one line. One line. And there was supposed to be a whole thing where, like, all of the caddies, and we see two, the black guy who I kept looking up, like, who are these actors? Because I feel bad saying the black guy, but I'm like, what is his name? And I looked all through the credits, and I'm clicking on each name, and I'm just like, because I want to know his name, and I want to know the name of the guy that Jackie Mason first encounters when he walks into the club, because I was like, he's a very familiar face to me. And there's a few familiar faces in here. There's the one guy with the mustache, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's the judge from The Untouchables, but I couldn't figure out who else I knew with some of these names. But yeah, there's supposed to be a whole thing of like all the caddies getting on golf carts and like threatening the snobs that run this whole place. But instead, that's all gone. And yeah, Jonathan Silverman is barely a blip in this movie. We get just a few little things, and that he ends up being the golf partner at the end. I'm like, really? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. He's not a presence in this movie. And instead, it's all about that young lawyer character guy who I'm just like, he looks like James LeGros, but he's not James LeGros. And yeah, he's just a real piece of shit asshole. And like, Robert Stack does a pretty good job channeling Ted Knight, but Jackie Mason just can't hold a candle to Rodney, unfortunately.
No, the worst thing that this movie can do is make you think of the first movie, which is why, like, any moment Chevy Chase is on screen, it's like, guys, don't make me think of that better movie. Because all I'm going to do is again, like, this is an hour and a half. This movie's 98 minutes. It feels like it's 3 hours long. There are stretches of this movie that are thoroughly unfunny in a way that the first movie, like, is rarely unfunny if it's unfunny at all. The first movie is a perfect comedy in a lot of ways. Like, it has its kind of problematic moments in terms of the story structure, and like you guys both already alluded to, with the inability for the movie to pick who the main character is and who the focus of the film is. But I mean, I would rather have that than whatever this is attempting to be, which is, again, this is what sequels to comedy films felt like in the 70s and 80s. Like, let's just redo what worked the first time. Like literally, not figuratively, not metaphorically, like, let's just retread the first movie's story. Exactly. And yeah, the movie had I would say this movie had a pretty troubled production, I think, with the Rodney Dangerfield of it all and the Jackie Mason of it all. And then the fact that John Peters, notorious giant spider loving John Peters, for whatever reason, he is the one who ends up being kind of, it would seem, at least to me in the research that I was doing, he seems to be the one pushing Jackie Mason as like the replacement and or alternative and or the one to take over should Rodney Dangerfield not want to do the role. And it's just, I don't know, Rodney Dangerfield, for me, as a fan of comedy, he speaks to the 80s for me in a lot of ways. Like, his comedy is very like set to the 80s. Jackie Mason, this dude doesn't feel like he's part of this movie. No, he feels like he's forced into this movie as, again, like a kind of weird anachronistic stereotype of a time long past. And I know that this is like his attempt to be relevant again, but like the word is attempt, and the term is, he died in 2021. He's 93 years old. This came out in 88. Like, he's still kicking for like another 40 years almost. And like the most relevant thing he does in those 40 years is The Simpsons. Like, really, like, genuinely, it's The Simpsons, because nothing, including this, ever gets him relevancy or credibility the way his comedy act did before. If anything, it hurt his career or hurt the things that he was involved with, because they're stifled by having to deal with his antiquated comedic stylings, which don't work. They just don't work in this movie at all.
Are you familiar with Jackie Mason's career?
A little, I mean, a little bit, yeah. Just through having to do research for this episode.
Didn't he have a one act play that did pretty well?
Oh yeah,
and that was like post this, I think.
No, it was right before this. Yeah. Okay. Started in 86 with one man. It was a 2-year run of The World According to Me. He had also, the thing I remember the most about Jackie Mason is all the controversy, because he allegedly gave Ed Sullivan the finger back in 1964, and Ed Sullivan kicked him off the show and said he could never come back. And eventually they proved that he didn't give him the finger, and that it was the real misconstruing what was going on, because I guess he was getting the 1 minute mark come off, and then Jackie Mason did the 1 minute back to him, but with the wrong finger. But yeah, it feels almost like after that he was really branded as an unstable, and you don't know what this guy's going to do. And for me, it almost feels like he was in a time capsule from 1964 and just showed up in 1986. And was just like of course he did things in between. He was in History of the World Part 1, he was in The Jerk, he was in other things, but it was
he was in History of the World Part 1 the way Chevy Chase was in this movie.
Well, it feels like he is such a throwback. It feels like he is unfrozen Vorspelt comic who shows up in this movie. And his styling is so different than Rodney Dangerfield. And his character is so different, because Rodney, the way he comes in, he's just like a bull in a china shop. And the way he makes fun of everybody. And meanwhile, Jackie Mason in this movie feels like, hey, I'm a really nice guy, and people are just misconstruing this. Why don't more people like me? And Rodney is just proud to be an asshole. And that's what I really like about him. I mean, just the way that he is so out there, oh, hey, somebody step on a duck, oh, you get a bowl of soup when you order a hat like that. Those kind of things where he's just boom, 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 boom. And Jackie is just trying to do that kind of stuff. And it just does not. It feels very foreign coming out of his mouth. And I'm not saying that as some sort of xenophobic thing. It just does not feel literally he is saying lines that were written for another character.
So I think for me, Rodney Dangerfield's character, I'm not even in my mind, he's not an asshole. He's just I don't know, he is pointing out the hypocrisy of this, these assholes, right? I don't know, he's very much just playing himself dropped into this world. With Jackie Mason, his character is thoroughly unlikable no matter what he says otherwise. It's like me. And it's why would we? You're so unlikable. Everything you say when you open your mouth, oh, like me, please. But why would we? Nothing about you is likable. The way your character is painted is unlikable. The way your character acts and dresses and just is characterized in this movie is thoroughly unlikable in a way. If Rodney Dangerfield is able to take, again, a kind of crass character and make him likable, Jackie Mason is unable to take a character who is already likable on the face of it and squanders it immediately. I mean, they try to introduce him by having him, he's a man of the people playing poker with the guys on the work site, and it's that scene doesn't land, and then nothing from then on land. And it's I don't, is he supposed to be a counterfactual to the things that were going on in the 80s in other places like New York City with people? Yeah, I'm assuming, right? That's, part of the kind of gag or the joke. But I'm sorry, it's just, to both of your points, this is Encino Man. They're unfreezing Brendan Fraser as a caveman, and they're he doesn't understand normal human being things of the 80s. Why would he? He's from another time. Every time they have Jackie Mason interacting with people, I think in this movie, the movie suffers. And I'm not saying the rest of the movie around it's particularly great. I think the rest of the movie around it is maybe a middling to lesser 80s comedy. Imagine this movie, take Chevy Chase and Jackie Mason out of it. This is just a shitty 80s comedy. It's not even that bawdy It's not even that tawdry.
PG.
It's like fucking pretty abysmal in terms of being an 80s comedy. And especially in comparison to a film that was quite raunchy, that had a lot of nudity, that was pushing the envelope in terms of the comedy of the time. Like, this movie is also, on top of everything else, very fucking safe.
Well, and you got all of those good side characters in Caddyshack, like the Ted Knight's drunk nephew and the way that he threw up in the car. And it's like the equivalent for Carl, the groundskeeper, is obviously the Dan Aykroyd character. That weird choice of him being this contract killer, black ops type of guy, and basing his role on Oliver North and things. But like, he doesn't even show up until the end of the film. Like, again, going back to the script, and I'm sorry to do that, to just keep harping on this. The gopher doesn't show up until towards the end of this movie in the script. And instead, they have to open the movie with the Jaws theme and him going through the fields and stuff. I'm like, oh my God.
Just like Airplane motherfucking 2, by the way.
Exactly. But my God, and I love Frank Welker. I think he's fantastic. I think he's very talented. But to bring him in and have him do, I think, both gopher noises and the horse noises, and the gopher noises where now he can speak English and Italian, by the way. What the fuck is going on with this? And just to make, I mean, it is such desperation of, we did this in the original, we have to do it again, even to the point of there being an explosion at the end of this movie. Holy shit. And going back to stay with the script, I should say, the first time we see Al being introduced into the script, as soon as he opened his mouth on the page, I was like, oh yeah, like, because I forgot what Rodney's character's name is, but he's named the same. But the very first time you see him, it's a close-up of him going, what are we waiting for? Let's get high. And then you see that he's on a crane and being raised up to the top of this building. I was like, okay, boy, that is really like pushing that line because of the whole let's get laid thing at the end of the previous film. But then it's like, okay, yeah, he's very in charge of everything. They described him as lusty and exuberant self-made millionaire real estate developer, and he knows everybody that's on his crew. He has a great relationship. He like calls out to this guy like, hey, Carmine, thank you mother for the scongilis, great, you know. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a really good character. And yeah, again, like, look at Jackie Mason, the way he's dressed with that like purple suit. And then you look at Rodney Dangerfield and the way he's dressed with that multicolored jacket. I mean, the purple suit actually looks kind of decent. Whereas Rodney, and no matter what universe you're in, that is a loud jacket and he is a loud person.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
What universe is this taking place in where they don't mention Rodney Dangerfield's character at any point? Or Ted Knight? Why didn't they have like a picture of them on a wall somewhere or some? What's weird is this is a sequel to Caddyshack that doesn't acknowledge the original Caddyshack, other than the scenes that it directly acknowledges the original Caddyshack by having Chevy Chase in it. But outside of that, and the fact that it's set at Bushwood, it never acknowledges the fact of the original Caddyshack. And I guess the gopher looks different, and the gopher can talk in this one. So and that's
an old gopher.
Yeah, and I don't understand what, I mean, again, like, not that I need the MCU and explain it all to me, but if you're going to call this Caddyshack 2 and you're going to have Chevy Chase in it, and the movie was originally written for Rodney Dangerfield, who's now not in it, but the character in the movie is still essentially Rodney Dangerfield and everything but name.
Could have been a brother.
Yeah, what is this fucking movie is my point. Like, what is this movie trying to achieve, and why does this movie even exist? If Rodney Dangerfield wasn't going to be involved in this movie, they should have just not made it. Like, honest to God, Mike, this reminds me of License to it reminds me of License to Wed in a lot of ways. Like, if one person is going to dictate the tone of this movie so intensely, either in that movie's case because the person had strong feelings towards Christianity, and in this film's case because you have a antiquated comedian coming in to try and hold the jockstrap of someone who he couldn't even attempt to hold, it makes it almost just like in this film's case, you're hurting the original. And in License to Wed's case, you're hurting Robin Williams's kind of career as a whole. But in this movie, I'm having a hard time understanding what was the point of this movie if we're not going to acknowledge any of the original movies' successes, failures, or anything for that matter to begin with at all. Like, why didn't somebody at any point just look around and be like, this is eerily similar like what happened a couple years ago with Rodney Dangerfield and Ted Light? Nobody even says that. It's like, what is going on?
Well, that made me think of something that was brought up earlier. Why have Chevy in it? Or, why have any of the original characters in it? And my thought would be, well, just have Chevy's son be the web in this one. And if we're not going to connect anybody else to anybody, if we're not going to have Jackie Mason be Rodney Dangerfield's brother, which would make sense since they have the same job and are doing the same type of thing, then just have it be legacy characters for a legacy sequel. It's so far removed, 8 years from the original, right? And
it's a long time.
Or 7, whichever. Was it 80 or 81? 80 came out. But I was confused by they kept saying that he's building low income housing. Mm-hmm. And to me, that has a negative connotation. And so I know he's supposed to be the hero and he's supposed to be creating living space for people who can't afford, larger homes but every time they say low income housing, it plays as a negative to me. It makes him not seem like the hero. It makes him seem like he's tearing down all this protected stuff, like the little shack that they show that Robert Culp's wife is trying to protect. Like they're tearing down historic things to put up slums. That's how I kept seeing it. And I'm like, wait a minute. No. He's supposed to be the hero in this.
It's because Jackie Mason's fucking unlikable. That's my point. Like, they could have had him.
Don't say low income housing.
They could have had him
Just
donating food
affordable
to the poor, and he wouldn't have been unlikable. Though is kind of the issue.
But don't call it low income.
I agree.
Don't call it low income housing. I mean,
I want to be a slumlord. What's the matter with that?
Yeah, hey, nothing wrong.
There's no positive connotation to that phrasing at all. I mean, if you grew up in the 70s and 80s and you heard in the news or elsewhere low income housing, it was a negative thing. That's where crime happens. That's where drugs go on. That's where prostitutes do their stuff. That all that. I'm like, so it kept throwing me off as I'm watching the movie. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh no, he's not trying to make himself a slumlord. He's offering affordable housing to people. So he's the hero. I kept having to remind myself of that because it didn't make any sense the way it was written, which also goes back to how much of this is Ramis's and his partners' script at all, because they wanted their names pulled off of this and they weren't allowed to. So
yeah, that this movie, I mean, movies have been made for dumber excuses, but that this was made because John Peters goes, we own this property. We can say the shack is back. And
I love it.
It's basically like the old days where you could make a poster and get a movie sold based off of the poster. And here you go. Instead of a poster, it's a tagline. We have a tagline. Now let's build everything around this tagline.
Alien 3, literally.
Now it's in the scariest place of all.
Yeah, well, Earth. Remember? Yeah. Earth. And then it doesn't. It was supposed to be Earth. They literally were like, weird, and then they didn't go there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
John Peters. Can you imagine to be like, we own the property? Cool.
Oh, they do that all the time.
I know. I just love that. Just like, we own it and the shack is back.
Yeah.
We own it and we're running out of time to do something with it. Because at some point we're not going to own it. So
that's how those shitty Spider-Man movies got made.
And Hellraiser movies and dozens of other horror movies.
Final Destination.
Die Hard movies.
Mm-hmm.
Here, let's grab that script. I mean, at least they didn't do that.
Cloverfield.
Grabbing a script and reshaping it into something else.
I think they did that for at least 4. Actually, I think 3 was originally based on a different script. Like, let's just call this a Die Hard movie.
Oh, yeah. No, that was. But I'm saying the Caddyshack II at least wasn't pulled from like, this is too similar to the other golf movie that did. So we got to turn it into Caddyshack II.
Yeah, had they done that, it might have actually been better.
Yeah.
Had they found another golf movie, yeah.
But they would have changed it so much that it probably would have ended up almost the same. I like how the amusement park is just basically a commercial for Warner Brothers.
Yeah, God, yeah. The whole Looney Tunes hole that they have. I mean, they could have played all that stuff up. It could have been actually funny, and especially because they're using early visual effects with that ball making it into like a boomerang or something. But like, yeah, show something about how difficult, like make a Rube Goldberg type hole where you have to go through all this stuff, and that becomes the difficulty for like a Robert Stack to, be able to navigate that. And he has no idea how miniature golf is played. That would have been a little funny, but instead it just feels so random with like, oh, you got to make that past the drawbridge, and working human beings dressed up like Dutch girls, and you're shooting golf balls at them to try to hit the door in the big windmill. I'm like, that's one of the most dangerous. And plus, do you not know how miniature golf works? You don't use a wood for miniature golf. You're just strictly a putter. It is not a real golf game.
Yeah, no, none of it makes any sense.
No. Makes as much sense as a gopher breaking in and drinking people's drinks.
It makes as much sense as Chevy standing directly in front of Jackie Mason when he wants them to hit a drive. I'm like, you wouldn't stand anywhere near that.
No.
You would be to the side or behind, preferably both. You don't ever stand in front of someone swinging a golf club.
Mm-hmm.
And then
like
Chevy Chase
Jonathan
plays
Silverman running across all those golfers. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Go behind them. Yes.
It was making me crazy.
But Chevy Chase is able to play golf so well that now all he does is play golf inside of his house.
Yeah, and you mentioned those effects, and the golf ball becomes like this big.
That's a softball.
Softball, yeah. I shouldn't use hand gestures on a podcast, but yeah.
Oh,
you covered it for me.
No, come on. You should. I mean, the only hand gestures that you should use are the kinds that can get us in trouble. That one,
that one, and this one, and this other thing here.
Yeah. God.
You ever play Trap the Clam?
What the fuck was that thing too? Like that he goes over to 4 or 5 pretty attractive 80s women and just like is so inappropriate. I'm
Bombs.
Like, is your game really that bad? Like what kind of person is Ty Webb? Like I kept wondering about that because I'm like, is he supposed to be smooth as silk or is he smooth as duck shit? Like what?
He's not a real person. That's my point. Like in the first movie, he's a real person. In this movie, he's just a gag. Like
he is.
It's like he and that's to come back to the Chevy Chase of it all because that is the name of the podcast. This is I mean look, yes, he was barely in Dirty Work, and yes, he was barely in Orange County. He's barely in this movie, but
I'm surprised he came back a 4th time, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be 3 and out.
I was surprised it was more than 1. I thought it was just going to be the first thing where he goes, oh, you want to buy the club? Do I own that? Okay, here you go. And when he comes back, I'm surprised.
Yeah, but I kind of wish he hadn't come back for any of them.
Yeah.
Because every time he comes back, it's just, again, like you're reminding me of something else called Caddyshack. A movie who I feel like I reference it like once a week. Like a quote comes to my mind from that film once a week. And again, like maybe it's me enjoying the original movie a little bit more than y'all. Maybe it's a movie that resonated with me a little strong. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm kind of surprised you didn't dislike it more, Mark, because like I remember when I watched this movie the first time, I disliked it. And that was long before I became, I've always watched film critically, but it's different now. Like this is a thoroughly unfunny movie, and unfunny comedies are not like the worst. They are the worst. Unfunny comedies are terrible. Yeah.
I liked it progressively less as it went on. Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. It wasn't. What's the worst one we've watched so far for this?
Funny Money?
Funny Money? Oh, yeah, but that's like a class of its own.
I don't even know.
This is the worst movie. This is the worst movie from this time and era that we've watched.
Yeah.
This is the worst 80s Chevy Chase movie we've watched, I think. Period. The end.
Which really surprises me. Funny Money was the one that we just did last month.
Armand Asante.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It was not about counterfeiting, despite what you would think, unless you consider the counterfeit bananas.
No, right. Wax fruit.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. And it's not good. It's not as bad as some of the movies that I have seen. It's not as bad as like I don't know. I know like some of the Police Academy movies get really bad as well, but yeah, it just, it's
this
almost
is like that, right? Like this is like that.
Yeah, it's almost fascinating though to see just how bad it gets. I mean, just like the Randy Quaid character has no, like, there's nothing for him to do. Like, is he just angry all the time? Like, he does this whole thing about like golf isn't really a sport.
It's for wussies, is what he says.
Yeah, exactly.
It's for wussies.
Ugh.
I love his costume though. His outfit in the movie when they go to the Jackie Mason like theme park and he's wearing that hat and those shorts and that green polo. He looks like such a fucking asshole.
Oh yeah. And again, like I wanted him to be like, okay, let's make a new sport. Let's create something new rather than this golf game. So like, let's play this where you have to defend the hole kind of thing, but it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Even some of the real obvious jokes, like when they turn off the water on the water slide and the James LeGros, not James LeGros character is coming down and he's like, oh, my ass. I'm like, dude, you have to then stand up when you're in the water or out of the pool and show us that you have literally burned through the shorts and show me your red ass cheeks. Like, do something right with this joke.
I need that as
he had a no nudity clause.
I need that as a soundboard, Mike. Show me your red ass cheeks.
Come on, do it.
Yeah. He had a no nudity clause in his contract. So
yeah, the whole movie's got a no nudity.
No kidding, man. What a bummer.
I feel so bad for Diane Cannon in this movie. I'm just like, what are you doing here? And why would you find Jackie Mason attractive? Like, if she was saying like, I hate these stuck up assholes as well, great. Welcome to the show, Diane Cannon. But instead she's just like, yeah, I'm here. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Well, that's the other thing. Most of his criticisms are like asides. You were talking about how Rodney Dangerfield was so upfront with it, and he's kind of like mumbling and just saying things off to the side and not really confronting people with that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to show them their hypocrisy because we start off the movie with the Buffy St. Marie or whatever her name is just being completely a jerk to him, the China Phillips character, where she's like, oh, go get me a root beer. And Jonathan Silverman has to run all over the place. He comes back. She takes one sip of it and then drops the can. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that sets the tone as to how awful these rich people are. But then that's it. We don't get that level of abuse going forward after that. And I don't understand that. Like, and it sounds like their problem is solved when they go, oh yeah, we're getting all these new golf carts and you guys are going to be replaced. So fuck you. But then that never comes to fruition either because we're still using caddies at the end game. So it's just, the logic gaps, just really make me angry.
Randy Quaid is meant to be funny because Randy Quaid is in a hockey outfit. He's in pads and skates, hitting the ball away as Robert Stack is attempting to hit it into the hole. That's funny. That's comedy.
Sure.
Comedy, capital C, comedy. Stuff. Yeah, Is Randy Quaid sitting there the whole time waiting for people to come by? Does he do that for everybody or just Robert Stack? This is a real question. Just Robert. Okay,
right. Yeah,
I do have a cinema sin though. And,
oh boy.
Well, Aykroyd's whole purpose there is to take out Jackie Mason, and he's got these fancy exploding golf balls. Which he demonstrates. Which he demonstrates for Robert Stack's character Chandler,
which is total riff on Dave the Jackal. I noticed with the way that he's got the watermelon hanging there. Oh, keep your eyes on the watermelon now.
He hits the ball and it explodes the watermelon when it hits the watermelon, which doesn't make any sense. So later on, when Robert Stack is putting the ball that the gopher has changed to one of the exploding ones, his slight little tap makes the golf ball explode. So which is it? Does it explode on impact or does it explode the second time it hits something?
Yeah, don't demonstrate something for us just to counteract that later on in the movie.
Yeah. That really bothered me.
Yes, it bothered me as well. I was like, as soon as he hits it, it's going to explode. Yeah,
of course. Of course. And it does. And, and the explosion is very Looney Tunes-esque. Their appearance afterwards, all their hair is up. The golf club is bent just like crazily. And yeah, Warner Brothers.
I was waiting for it. We didn't get it, but I was waiting for it.
Well, they had enough other sound effects in there. I mean, there are so many goofy little sound effects that they pull throughout the entire movie. Not just talking about the horse farting.
I thought you were talking about every time Dan Aykroyd opens his fucking mouth.
Oh yeah, there's like little things that just happen throughout this whole thing, and I'm like, all right, that worked well in Rock and Roll High School. It does not work well for this. And yeah, Dan fucking Aykroyd showing up 59 minutes in, which is
kind of like Dan Aykroyd in the movie though, only because like he always commits to the stupid bit.
He does commit to the bit.
He commits to the fucking bit. Like to echo the spirit of Father Malone, who I know Dan Aykroyd is like a personal favorite of his. Like Dan Aykroyd always commits. I will give him credit where credit is due. That stupid fucking accent. He never breaks. He does it. He never even cracks while doing it. That is a commitment to the bit all the way. And
I guess that's also where one of those sound effects comes in, is when he's talking about getting electrodes to the balls. You hear,
oh yes, yeah, and his eyes roll.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not real keen on cartoon sound effects being used in movie. I know it's a comedy, but.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear the boing or the bonk sound effect, I'm like, I don't know. You're taking me out of this a little bit.
You can do it well in something, to mention Freaks, and something like Freaks, where they have that scene
that
where
makes
like,
sense.
yeah, but there's that scene where like the car is driving and you hear just like all of a sudden like a plethora of sound effects. But yeah, in this movie, it's unearned. I mean, again, most of this movie's attempts at things genuinely comedic are completely unearned. I mean, there's a fair amount of like physical comedy with Jackie Mason, where he's like, "Oh, I'm locked in my bathroom. I'm gonna have to climb outside." Like
that made no sense to me,
dude. Like you just like it's a first story fucking house, dude. Like you fucking bozo. Like just go out the window, come out the front door. Like I don't. Hey, it's a misconception.
Ask her to help you from the other side of the door.
No. This is comedy. This is practical comedy. Remember John Belushi in Animal House? It's like that.
Why would you be embarrassed by that? Oh, the door handle fell off. I have no idea what happened. Can you help me open the other side?
She's a beautiful woman, Mark. She's a beautiful woman, and he is so he would have a harder time explaining to her why the fuck he's at his own front door than why he would just be like, "Hey, my doorknob fell off."
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not making it. The punchline makes no sense.
And then he holds up a trellis
with roses, like he's giving her flowers
because he broke it on the way down.
Yeah.
You've mentioned Back to School a number of times, Mike, and I'm just like, I wish I had watched that instead.
Oh, I know. It's such a better movie. So much better.
God, so much better.
And that's
only for the Kurt Vonnegut jokes.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, fuck me. Fuck you. Yeah, that was so good. I'm stopping the check, Vonnegut. Yeah. Oh, so good.
I love that he did that. That Vonnegut did that.
And then Sam Kinison just showing up as the professor in that one scene. He's so good in that role. Oh, man.
Well, Sam Kinison was...
That's why he was going to be in this.
Yeah, which would have been great. I think that would have been really nice to have those two together and have that lawyer character, like the anger thing, because Sam Kinison can do the anger thing like nobody's
that off.
Yes. Exactly.
He's like one of the few comedians that he is in like a very protected class of comedians that is, but like his anger never seems like a put on.
Right.
It is believable.
Yeah. It's like the difference between Bill Hicks and Dennis Leary, where you're just like, yeah, Dennis, you're just reaching for it. Whereas Bill Hicks was actually angry about everything.
To quote Dewey Cox, the wrong kid died. Fucking crap.
I always think of who's the other guy? Lewis Black. His anger always seems kind of
what the fuck? I like that.
Real to me.
Though.
Yeah, his seems legit to me too.
It is, yeah.
Just like there's a real grievance. There's a real grievance there.
Yeah, he's gonna have a conniption fit one of these days. Yes.
If you hire Lewis Black, you are getting Lewis Black. You are getting nothing else, but you are getting Lewis Black 100%. And that's the problem with Jackie Mason, isn't it? Like, he is unfortunately himself to the 100%, but like, he's himself, but the lines coming out of his mouth are not. They're someone else's lines, and that's the problem. It's like the two things don't match. They don't match. And then you set it in the late 80s on top of everything else, where people are wearing like big shouldered suits and or like jackets on t-shirts in Chevy Chase's case. And yeah, it's just none of it works together as a cohesive comedy, let alone a sequel to a movie that, again, like rarely falters, if it falters at all. And that's a movie that has Bill Murray as a character that they don't give a lot of screen time to, and then they end up having like almost like a quarter of the movie devoted to his character because of how good he was in just the scenes with other people. And in this movie, it's like they can't catch a fucking break. Nobody is good together at all. Like they wish they could get any amount of like the chemistry between Chevy Chase and Bill Murray that they had in the one scene that they had together. And they have how many scenes between Jackie Mason and Chevy Chase? Almost all the scenes that Chevy Chase is in is opposite Jackie Mason.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase is an opposite. Yeah. Chevy Chase is barely opposite anybody else.
That reminded me of a couple of weird sound effects. That the whole thing with him pulling down the fake microphone and doing the kind of the WWE entrance for the start of the tournament at the end.
Right.
Oh, right.
Yet it's actually sounds like he's speaking into a microphone. That bothered me for some reason. But early on, I think it's his first scene when they're in the locker room. Is that his first scene? Maybe that's his second scene when they're in the locker room. And
the second scene. The first scene's at his mansion with that bizarre painting of his mom, dad, and him as babies, and they all look like him. Okay.
In the locker room, I think it's after he says the line about Jackie Mason's mom being a whole lot of woman or whatever. And then there's a dubbed in laughter. Chevy's laugh is dubbed in. And
really?
Like an extended laugh because he starts talking and the laugh is still going.
Oh,
I'm like,
weird.
what was that about?
Was that what he meant when he said to Alan Arkish, let me know after you dubbed the laugh track in?
I don't know. I saw that in the trivia too, but it was so bizarre to me. I'm like, the laughter is still happening, but he is already saying his next line.
Speaking of China Phillips,
it was just weird. I don't even know what. I don't know. I don't know why it stuck out to me so much, but I had to rewind it to see if like it was what I imagined happened, and it did. Like,
well, it stuck out because Chevy Chase is in 4 scenes in this movie.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised he actually is in so many scenes.
Like, I am too.
Those 4 scenes, now hats off to Arkish for this. Those 4 scenes actually make it feel like he's in this movie more than he is because they're the critical scenes. But yeah, I was just shocked. I was really shocked when he showed up at the end to interact with Dan Aykroyd. Scene goes absolutely nowhere. And it's one of many scenes where it's Ty Webb asking about money because he wants some money to suck that poison out of Dan Aykroyd's ass. But yeah, wow. Those two together, I was like, okay, well, this could be funny. We've seen Spies Like Us. We've seen, other movies where Chevy's with other people.
This could be funny. We've seen Spies Like Us. What the fucking statement did you just make, my friend?
I know. Spies Like Us feels like a comedy.
My tracks.
It feels like a comedy classic compared to this film because, I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't find Caddyshack that funny. There are funny parts to it, like all of the Rodney and Ted Knight stuff, but that whole thing with what would you say the kid's name is? Michael O'Keefe?
Michael O'Keefe, yeah.
That goes nowhere. The whole thing with thank you, Noonan. The whole thing with the girl being pregnant and all that stuff, the Spanish girl.
Thanks for nothing.
Yes.
Because it all got excised, you know. I mean, that story was probably much bigger part of the original script.
True.
And his family life, too, just disappears after the first scene. You see this
Caddyshack works in spite of itself. It fucking does, because you have Rodney Dangerfield, Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, and Ted Knight in your movie. And
you gave them...
Yeah.
You gave them all the
parts.
stuff.
Yeah, you gave them the room.
Yeah.
You
know what?
said, "Fuck you, Michael O'Keefe. You're stupid. We've got these guys now, so we're gonna write more scenes for them. We're gonna have Chevy and Bill interact, even though they don't like each other famously, and so on and so on." So, I find it funny too. I think I'm in between probably you guys with the original. Maybe not as much as Chris anymore. I think I liked it a lot more when I was younger, but anymore it just seems like a little bit of a mess. And there is a lot of funny stuff. You mentioned, all the side characters that are funny, that nephew and the other caddies that are always getting into it. Danny's nemesis in the film, and the pool scenes are funny.
Baby
stuff
Ruth.
like that.
Baby Ruth. It's okay. It's just a candy bar.
Which is a funny accent for him to do. That whole Carl thing that he does, as opposed to the thing that Dan Aykroyd's doing.
I'm fine with Dan Aykroyd is doing funny, even if it is obnoxious.
It's just so high pitched, though. I mean, I get the Ollie North thing, but he's not. Ollie North isn't that high pitched.
No.
Yeah, but Aykroyd's pitching it up. He's going for it, as they would say.
I don't think you'd make that connection though if you don't read that in the trivia. Like, I wouldn't have gotten that. Even back in '88, I wouldn't have gotten that.
And just that whole thing where he then suddenly goes to war against the gopher, and it's just like, come on, dude. It's like that whole
Twinkies.
Yeah, the whole gopher thing just did not have to be there. And then the whole line where he goes, "Oh, I should have put poison on that arrow." And I'm like, okay, well, doesn't that mean you're going to die now? But instead, he's perfectly
Nothing
fine.
happens.
Yes.
Another joke that goes nowhere. He should have been loopy the rest of the time.
Remember Na 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 from the first movie? Remember that?
Sure do.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Jackie Mason ruined
I remember this. I remember this from this movie, doing the hula stuff.
I want Caddyshack 3. Can we get Caddyshack 3 right now in 2026? Directed by the guy who did Vacation. Is that John Francis Daly? I think did the new Vacation movie. Give us Caddyshack 3. Why not?
That would have good potential if those guys.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
If the Vacation, Game Night, Dungeons and Dragon dudes are behind it, I would actually show up for that one because I find their stuff hysterical.
And that's the thing. This had the potential to be the expectation is a good ensemble comedy. And the original Caddyshack, I think it's not as successful as an ensemble comedy because they're never really an ensemble together. One of my favorite ensemble comedies of again, for a time and a place for growing up for me was Dodgeball. And but if you think about it, every character in Dodgeball gets a moment. Every character in Dodgeball has a plot line and a storyline that gets tied up by the end of the movie. That's an hour and a half movie. And that's including some of the villains in the film too. Everybody gets a storyline. Everybody feels like they have a moment. And that's when those kinds of comedies are working at their best. This movie and the original Caddyshack for that matter, there's no balance whatsoever. At all. And I think that again, the original one works in spite of it. And this movie does not. I think that we have found some of the most unfunny films I've ever seen doing this podcast. Because this is up there for me with Funny Money, and man, Spies Like Us is pretty bad.
It is. I've been leaving Modern Problems out of this.
Oh dear Jesus! I forgot it's trauma.
That has its moments for me, but I think
it does.
Really nostalgia.
Same here. Yeah. No, so many of these movies that we've talked about on this show have just not been good. I mean, I think about some of the better parts of Three Amigos, but then you get some of the dumb parts where you're just like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? Why are
the burning bush?
Yeah, or the invisible swordsman kind of stuff. I'm like,
well, it's when they fiddle around with stuff. It seems to constantly go back to that. That played out. Some of that stuff played out in the original script, and then they just dropped it. And so things don't make any sense now, and you've lost your connective tissue. And I remember, particularly for that film, being confused by things, and then you kind of clarified it by having read the script, and it's like, who would get that? Right? I mean, you can't make a movie. I don't get it. I get it sometimes. We like this part, but we got to take this out. And it's like, well, no one's going to understand what they're talking about. Well, that's okay. Who cares? I'm not going to give the audience any credit or Well, I'm looking back over our list of what we've already done and
Deal of the Century, Under the Rim.
Oh my God, Deal of the
Heavenly
Century.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Deal of the Century is another one where it was like you got a lot more of what the hell that Gregory Hines character was supposed to be doing, and it did not show up on screen.
Yeah, it's sad when they do stuff like that really affects not only the quality but the understanding of the film, which I guess goes hand in hand. Like if I don't understand what you're talking about, the quality of my enjoyment is going to go down. And they just keep doing that, and they keep changing things. And Caddyshack is kind of the lone example where it kind of works, where we're going to change this so drastically, but it's because we've got all this other funny stuff in there. I'm looking at what's coming up, and at least one of these movies is good.
Well, thanks, world.
But I think everything will be interesting. Fletch Lives I've never seen. I am a fan of Christmas Vacation.
Fletch Lives looks like fucking Citizen Kane's Kane
good.
compared to this movie.
Good.
God.
And I am a fan of Christmas Vacation, and Nothing But Trouble I am curious about. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it very much, but I'm very curious about it.
It's better than this movie because it is a fucking bizarre failure.
Yeah.
This is just
Is
lazy.
it a failure, though? Is it a failure, or is it just Dan Aykroyd let loose finally? Like, people keep fucking with my scripts and cutting them down because nothing makes any sense. And
How dare they cut down my 300-page Ghostbuster script to something more manageable and
or my 300-page Blues Brothers script
Lord.
that also becomes much more manageable and cohesive and coherent. And by maybe not everybody's favorite person, but John Landis knew what he was doing when he cut that thing down. So
damn straight, yeah.
And then we've got the Vacation. You mentioned Vacation, the I guess reboot. Well, I guess that's kind of a sequel. That's sort of
it's a legacy.
Well, that's the whole thing, because they keep saying, is it a sequel or is it a reboot? Which is actually a very funny conversation that they have in there.
And I recall liking Memoirs of an Invisible Man when I saw it in the theater, but we'll see. I don't think I've seen it since then, so maybe that says something. But
I've never seen it. I'm excited to see that. I'm trepidatious about Nothing But Trouble. And then I think then we go into like Cops and Robbers' Sons, which I've also not seen. Man of the House, Vegas Vacation.
Vegas Vacation again makes the Vegas Vacation looks like a fucking I don't know, a Peter Bogdanovich film compared to this. Like anything, like a competently made film by a competent director compared to this. Like Alan Arkish's fault this is not, but this movie is. I think this is the worst thing. I think when we are done, this will be the worst thing, which I genuinely think.
Well, I hope so.
That's a pretty low bar to cross.
I hope so.
But I guess the problem is like this isn't the. I think this is the worst Chevy Chase cameo thing we've watched. I think in terms of the worst Chevy Chase thing that we've watched, in terms of it being his thing, I think it's probably for me Deal of the Century. Because that movie, I couldn't even tell you I remember scenes from Spies Like Us. I couldn't even tell you a funny scene from Deal of the Century. Like I couldn't tell you one funny scene at all. Like I couldn't tell you a scene from that movie, let alone a funny one.
I don't even remember the last one we talked about, which was Funny Money. So
yes.
Yeah, I was like, almost in a class of its own. Like that's almost in a class of its own.
What was that movie?
Ugh. You don't remember Robert Loggia's Boner?
Yeah.
Yes,
Look at this boner I got here. Oh wait, no, that's John Voight. Or Penelope Ann Miller being drunk. Remember?
Yeah, for the whole movie.
Yeah, knowing all the alcohol names, even though she never drinks.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, Drambuie. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's stuck in my craw. I'm still thinking about that. I do remember.
Is there anything else we want to talk about with Caddyshack 2?
God, no.
No. I just regret that poor Paul Bartel is in this.
Oh, yes.
I like Paul Bartel so much, and he's perfect when it comes to playing these characters that are so super snooty. He does that so well.
Gets nothing to do.
And there's no, also with Paul Bartel, he almost always comes around by the end of the movie. Like, think about his character in Rock and Roll High School, where he's this kind of out of touch science professor, but then by the end he's at the Ramones show and he's, really digging the Ramones and dancing with that giant mouse and everything. And then he just kind of drops out of this movie towards the end, and nobody learns a lesson at the end of this. Like, what does Jackie Mason gain by winning the game? Does he just suddenly be able to become that slumlord he's always dreamed of being, or what?
He gets to join the country club because he owns it.
But he owns it, and he's going to keep the exhibits and everything. And I guess the person who has the most gain in this is the gopher who's going to fuck a poodle.
Yeah. And maybe his daughter, because
I'm all right. Dun, dun.
Under the realization that he's okay and she's okay being his daughter.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which I really didn't get the whole thing of her being embarrassed by him. Like, there needed to be way more of that stuff.
Well, it's just that the only thing embarrassing about him is that he's not like the country club people. But
the only thing embarrassing about him is that he's Armenian.
Yes.
I mean, they what's your last name again? Like, chill out.
Who's that Armenian accent? Yeah.
Trust me, there were plenty of Armenians in country clubs. Well, at a certain point, they kind of, once they started making their millions in agriculture, I think a lot of the negative ideas about them were gone.
Like, I just don't understand any of this movie's weird racism, but whatever. I understood the first movie. If anything, you want my thoughts on how to fix this movie, should have cast a black actor as the lead. And then you would have just had like a perfect like snobs versus slobs replacement. You would have just had again, it would have made sense. You wouldn't have the uphill battle of trying to convince me that he's not a slumlord. You know what I mean? You
couldn't have the slave auction at the country club then, though, I don't think.
Yeah, you could. It would be even funny.
It would be, because it'd be so embarrassing, or potentially embarrassing to the white people.
But the black guy bought all of them.
Exactly.
It made writes itself. This movie is so fucking lazy. It misses how easy it could have had it if it had just cast I don't know, Eddie Murphy, or I don't know who's doing comedy in the late 80s in terms of African American.
Was still around.
I mean, basically, this could have been La Jouette, like the whole thing of, that's what it reminded me of, was the toy when we go to Ty Webb's house and he's got all that crazy shit in his house. And I was like, okay, is this again, like the idle rich just have a bunch of toys hanging around?
That was another thing I didn't like. He should have still been in his cool pad with the swimming pool.
Right.
Why is he in this big old mansion? He didn't care about money.
No, he didn't.
He so much didn't care about money in the first film that he didn't even know all the stuff he owned.
He had checks lying around in his house in the first movie.
Right. And they make the point of, do I own Bushwood? And it's, so why isn't he still in his, modest but nice place like he is in the first film? He wouldn't buy a mansion like that if he supposedly doesn't care about money. So have it be his kid, like I, mentioned, and maybe his kid does like money and is super happy that his dad is really wealthy, and maybe he's not one of the slobs. Maybe his son is a snob, and that's
there you go.
The Jackie Mason brother of Rodney Dangerfield or whatever, or Jonathan Silverman has to go up against.
Yeah, we're Jonathan Silverman.
I don't know.
He just has nothing to do.
Putting in all the effort that the movie is unwilling to do. The three of us. Fuck us.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, Chris, that having a black actor in that role would have made a huge difference. But yeah, unfortunately, there were just no black comedians in the 1980s. So
I got an idea of C. Thomas Howell.
Oh, there you go. Put him in blackface.
Yeah.
His little soul man action.
Yeah, soul man.
Yeah.
He's the soul man. Dun, 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 dun.
And he's got a secret that no one at Bushwood can find out.
Yep. This summer, C. Thomas Howell's taking back the shack. Shack Man. Not the movie you would think. Good Lord. Starting with
Shack is back. There we
Shack
go.
Is back, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just sharing us.
Yeah, I was like, isn't that going to be the tagline for Steel when James Gunn brings it back into the DCU?
Nice. The
Shack is back. Black, Steel 2. Yeah.
It just becomes like this amazing dramatic role for Shaquille O'Neal that no one expected.
In the role of a lifetime.
Exactly. It's like the whale.
Yeah.
The whale, but with Shaq in it. Yeah.
It's so serious.
This is called Shaq Diesel.
I got really fat off my chicken sandwiches. So starting with you, Begley, and then you, Mike. Final thoughts on Caddyshack 2.
No, if you're going to call him Begley, you call me White.
Okay, Begley and White.
All right, there we go.
Begley and White.
One of the worst things we've watched so far. Won't be watching it again. But you should check it out if you like Chevy Chase. I don't know.
What a qualifier that was at the 11th hour. Holy shit.
If you're a completist, and Mike, Mr. White.
Kind of the same thing. Yeah, this was nearly not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's still really bad. So there are worse comedies, probably worse comedies even from 1988 that are out there.
Yep.
Now I have to look it up. But yeah, I would say that it's pretty bad. It's definitely pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't think 1988, I don't recall it as being a good year for movies. 87 was a good year, but 88, I don't know.
And I'd still say that 1986 was probably the best movie year of the 80s.
I would have to go with 82, but yeah, we could argue that. So.
Depends on your definition of good. There was a pretty big movie that came out in 1988 that's a comedy that the three of us not only like, but we've also covered. The Naked Gun from the Files of the Police Squad.
I guess. Oh, this was also the year of The Great Outdoors, Twins, A Fish Called Wanda, Mac and Me, Funny Farm. Ooh, here you go. High Spirits, the one with Gutenberg and Daryl Hannah and Peter O'Toole, where they extended cameo from Donald Trump, I believe.
Dorf's Golf Bible.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here's a wonderful comedy from that year. Midnight Run. Absolute killer comedy.
Well, that's the winner of that year.
Well, and don't forget another movie that we've covered, a 1988's comedy classic, Funny Farm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Much better than this one. Even though we didn't like
this one.
Much better.
Much better. True.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty all over the place because I'm seeing like Richard Pryor in Moving, then Coming to America, 18 again. Oof.
Oy. Better than this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Yes.
Young Einstein, Married to the Mob, Working Girls, Big Business, the one with Lily Tomlin and what's her name? Bette Midler. Hot to Trot, the movie with Bobcat Goldthwait. So, yeah.
I love that movie. Dabney Coleman with some big fake teeth. John Candy is a talking horse.
John Candy's a talking horse. Wow. He was in The Great Outdoors that same year. He had 2 big films, I guess, huh?
Bobcat Goldthwait's lead performance, his lead role in the comedy vehicle Hot to Trot, that went nowhere.
And also Dan Aykroyd was in The Great Outdoors too.
Oh, dear Jesus. Well, I would say for me, Caddyshack 2, like Robert Stack's Kangol hat at the end of the film, was an ill-advised choice. And I'm as the only one out of the three of us who had seen this film before, I am so utterly disappointed at myself for having to watch this film again because, and not only watching it again, but watching it like 2 times back to back, because I really fucking hate myself. It's again, unfunny comedies are in a class of their own, and then unfunny legacy sequels really are in a rarefied air of negativity, and this is one of those movies. And man, like I said at the beginning, the chasm of quality is vast. So so like we've already alluded to on the next episode, speaking of sequels, we'll be talking about Fletch Lives, a film that will not be as bad as this one. I can guarantee you that. Until then, where can people find you and the things that you work on, Mark Begley?
You can find my 2 shows, Wake Up Heavy and Cambridge and Washawn, over at weirdingwaymedia.com. How about you, Mike White?
Well, for me, I'm over at weirdingwaymedia.com as well. And that's where you can find all of my stuff. How about you, Chris?
never going to get tired of you doing that voice. I think it's fucking hilarious. I think it's you're doing it
spot
perfectly.
on,
Yeah,
too.
it is
Right.
spot on.
It really is. People, if you watch the movie, you will hear.
Or don't. Just listen to him doing the voice.
I can just do this all day. Yeah.
Are you doing now Dan Aykroyd as Captain America?
Yeah.
I could do this all day.
That is America's ass.
Man, Chris Evans, it's really a choice. Where'd you get that accent from? Oh, Dan Aykroyd in Caddyshack II was the inspiration for my Captain America performance. Good Lord. You can find everything I do at weirdingwaymedia.com. Just like these two nice fellas, that's where all the stuff that I work on can be found. Yeah. Other than Patreon, where the Rankin' on Bond can be found, which if you're into James Bond, check out that show on my Patreon or Mike's Patreon. And if you're not, just like, rate, and review this show and all the other shows, regardless of whether or not it's a Weirding Way Media show or someone else's. Like, rate, and review it however and wherever you get it, because content creators, well, if we're doing this for free, at least interact with our content. And yeah, come back next month and we talk about Fletch Lives.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a movie buff? Do you love dissecting and analyzing your favorite films? Look no further than the Projection Booth podcast. Join host Mike White and a bevy of guest experts as they explore the history, themes, and legacy of cult classics, obscure gems, and mainstream hits. Join us every week for a unique and engaging look at your favorite movies. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and tune in to the Projection Booth podcast. Available on all major podcast platforms.